Hey everyone, so in tech, we're all obsessed with clean, efficient code, right? But what about clean communication? I'm your tech mentor, and today we are going to apply that exact same refactoring discipline to our language. And with me is our language coach, who's going to help us nail the grammar. We're calling this the Clarity Refactor.
Okay, just look at this bug report. I updated it and sent it to him. You know, as a project lead, this kind of thing is a total nightmare. What is it? Who in the world is him? This kind of ambiguity just grinds the whole team to a halt. Yeah, exactly. You should think of those vague words as null pointers in your communication. They don't point to anything. Our Clarity Refactor is all about fixing them. Now that revised version, I updated the README and sent it to the reviewer. That is instantly, perfectly clear.
All right, so our first refactor step is all about naming our components correctly. We're going to start with nouns, specifically plurals, because let's face it, they are everywhere in tech. This is really the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, here's a subtle but really powerful tip for sounding clearer in your stand-ups. That S or ES at the end of a plural noun, it actually has 3 different sounds. It's a soft S sound, like in scripts. It's a buzzy Z sound, like in logs. And it's an IS sound, like in fixes or branches. Honestly, just nailing these sounds makes your update sound so much crisper and easier to understand, especially if you're on a noisy conference call.
So let's see this in action with words we use every single day. Most are simple, right? Bug becomes bugs. For words that end in sh, like branch, we add es, so we get branches. And then for words ending in y, like library and dependency, they become libraries and dependencies. Just getting these right in your documentation, it's a small thing, for sure, but it really shows you pay attention to the details. So now that our nouns are correct, let's actually put them into action. The next part of our refactor is about structuring our sentences so they read like executable commands. You want them to be clear, direct, and with absolutely no room for error.
You know, the absolute core of a clear command is this: subject, verb, object. It is the most direct way to say who did what to what. Yeah, exactly. Like in this example here, the API, that's the subject, returns the verb data, the object. This super simple structure is perfect for writing clean tickets, commit messages, and documentation that literally everyone can understand in a split second.
This structure is absolutely essential for writing clear instructions. But I want you to notice the small words here, the prepositions. They're like the glue holding it all together. It's connect to the server, not just connect server. That one tiny word removes all ambiguity and makes the instructions something you can actually follow. All right, here's a pro tip for writing clear status updates and event logs. Order really matters. Always put the place before the time. We deployed the patch on the server last night. See how that just flows logically? It makes your update so much easier to understand, which is absolutely critical when you're scanning through logs during an incident. So, our sentences have a solid structure. Great. Now we have to make sure all the components actually work together. I want you to think of this step as an integration test, but for your language. We need to avoid conflicts and make sure all the parts are compatible.
Okay, think of subject-verb agreement as kind of like type checking for your sentences. A plural subject, like logs, needs a plural verb. So it's the logs show errors, not shows. It's just like in bug reports. It's there is a bug for one issue, but there are 2 bugs if you've got multiple. Getting this wrong is like a compilation error for your reader. It just forces them to stop, go back, and reread. And here is a pattern you see all over the tech world. We use a noun as an adjective. We say user account, error message, or API request. Now the key rule here is that the first noun, the one that's acting as the descriptor, is always singular. It's a user account, even if you have millions of users. This is what keeps our technical terms consistent and clean. We've built a really solid foundation. Now it's time for the final, and I'd say most critical refactor, fixing our pointers. We're talking about pronouns, those little words that can create huge confusion if they don't point back to the right noun. Let's start with a classic one. If you are the one performing the action, you're the subject, so you use I, as in I deployed the patch. But if you are receiving the action, you're the object, so you use me, like in the manager called me. That mistake, me deployed, that's a common bug we can definitely patch right now. Okay, pay close attention to this one, because it's a small detail that just screams professionalism. It's, without an apostrophe, shows possession. The app changed its settings. It's, with an apostrophe, is just a short way of saying it is. It's slow today.
If you confuse these in documentation, you're just creating unnecessary friction for whoever is trying to read it.
Now let's get ownership right. For a single owner, you use an apostrophe S, the user's profile. For plural owners, where the word already ends in S, like developers, the apostrophe just goes after the S, the developers meeting. And for possessive pronouns, there's no apostrophe at all. This laptop is mine, or that repo is theirs.
And what about when an object performs an action on itself? Well, for that, we use a reflexive pronoun. We wouldn't say, the system restarted it. No, we say, the system restarted itself. It is the most precise way to describe these self-referential actions, which, are incredibly common in logging, automation, and system design.
Okay, let's fix one last common point of confusion. You use another when you mean one more from a group of many. Like, I need another example. But you use the other when you're talking about the second of two specific items. I have two solutions. One works, the other fails. One is indefinite, the other is specific. It's a simple distinction, but a really powerful one.
And that completes our language refactor. We have cleaned up our nouns, we structured our sentences, and we fixed all our pronoun pointers. So now it's time to commit these changes and start shipping much, much clearer communication. So here are the key rules from our refactor, just to recap. First, keep your references clear. Nouns name things, pronouns replace them. Simple. Second, make sure your subjects and verbs agree to avoid those logical errors. And third, master possessives and that noun as adjective pattern. That's what's going to make your technical English sound both precise and professional.
All right, so here's your first clarity commit. I want you to think of a project you're working on right now. And then try to write 6 sentences about it, but make sure you use at least 2 pronouns, 2 possessives, 2 noun as adjective phrases, and 1 sentence using another or the other. This is your chance to merge what you've learned today directly into your daily work. Because after all, what's the point of writing elegant code if the communication around it is totally buggy?